Finn was a curious little seahorse with shimmering golden scales that sparkled like sunlight on the water. His best friend, Coral, was a bright pink octopus with a knack for solving puzzles. One sunny morning, while exploring the tide pools near their home, Finn spotted something unusual poking out of the sand. It was a rolled-up piece of parchment, tied with a piece of seaweed. "Coral, look at this," Finn called, unrolling the map with his tiny fins. The map was old and faded, but they could make out a winding path leading to a place called the Pearl of the Deep. "A treasure map," Coral exclaimed, her tentacles wiggling with excitement. "Let's follow it." Finn and Coral set off into the open ocean, following the map's first clue, where the coral blooms brightest, seek the path of light. They swam through a dazzling coral reef, where schools of fish darted like rainbows and sea turtles glided gracefully overhead. "This place is amazing," Finn said, twirling around a patch of glowing sea anemones. "But we need to stay focused," Coral reminded him, her eyes scanning the map. "The Pearl of the Deep won't find itself." The next clue led them to a dense kelp forest. The towering plants swayed like giants in the current, creating a maze of green. "This way," Coral said, leading Finn through the twisting paths. But the kelp was so thick that they soon lost their way. "What do we do now?" Finn asked, his voice trembling. Coral thought for a moment. "We'll follow the bubbles," she said, pointing to tiny air bubbles rising to the surface. "They'll lead us out." Sure enough, the bubbles guided them to the edge of the forest, where the next clue awaited. The map's third clue read, "Listen to the song of the shells, and the way will be clear." Finn and Coral swam to a patch of giant seashells, each one glowing softly. As they approached, the shells began to hum a beautiful melody. The sound echoed through the water, creating ripples of light. "It's so pretty," Finn said, swaying to the music. "Wait," Coral said, tilting her head. "The song is telling us which way to go." Following the melody, they swam toward a hidden tunnel in the ocean floor. The tunnel was dark and eerie, but as Finn and Coral ventured inside, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight. Hundreds of tiny glowfish lit up the passage like stars in the night sky. "Wow," Finn whispered, his golden scales reflecting the soft blue light. "This must be the way," Coral said, swimming confidently ahead. The glowfish guided them through the tunnel, their light growing brighter as they neared the end. Emerging from the tunnel, Finn and Coral found themselves in front of a sunken ship. Its wooden planks were covered in coral, and seaweed draped over its sides like curtains. "This has to be it," Finn said, darting toward the ship. They swam onto the deck, where a treasure chest sat glowing with a golden light. Coral carefully opened the lid, revealing the most beautiful pearl they had ever seen. "The Pearl of the Deep," Coral said, her eyes wide with awe. Just as they reached for the pearl, a deep voice echoed through the water. "Who seeks the Pearl of the Deep?" A giant sea turtle emerged from the shadows, his shell covered in moss and his eyes glowing with wisdom. "We do," Finn said bravely. "We followed the map and solved the clues." The turtle nodded. "But to claim the pearl, you must answer this riddle. I am not alive, yet I grow. I have no lungs, yet I need air. What am I?" Coral thought hard. "A bubble," she said finally. The turtle smiled. "Correct. The pearl is yours." As Finn and Coral held the pearl, it began to glow even brighter, filling the water with a warm, golden light. The light spread through the ocean, healing damaged coral and bringing color back to the reef. "It's magic," Finn said, watching in amazement. "This pearl isn't just a treasure," Coral said. "It's a gift to the ocean." With the pearl's magic restoring the ocean, Finn and Coral began their journey home. The once damaged reef was now teeming with life, and the water sparkled like diamonds. "We did it," Finn said, smiling at Coral. "Together," Coral replied, wrapping a tentacle around him. Back at their home reef, Finn and Coral placed the pearl in a special spot where its light could shine forever. As they settled down to rest, Coral noticed something strange. "Finn, look," she said, pointing to the map. New words were appearing, along with a drawing of a distant underwater cave. Finn grinned. "Another adventure?" Coral nodded. "Another adventure."